All right, Liz, dive right into this. If you're using Kodi as your main media center, you already know it's an absolute powerhouse, right? It literally turns almost any device into this limitless entertainment hub. But if there's one single, hair-pulling frustration that unites all of us Kodi users, it's that dreaded buffering wheel. You know the feeling. You're right in the middle of this intense, amazing scene, and bam, everything just freezes. Well, in today's explainer, we're going to give you a definitive, under-the-hood technical fix to stop this dead in its tracks. We're skipping the basic quick fixes today and looking directly at the advanced settings XML protocol. This is all about taking manual control of your system, so let's get into it.
So here's our game plan for today's explainer. We'll diagnose the buffering problem itself, define what cache memory actually is, and then dive into the core of this explainer, the XML solution. After that, we'll cover the deployment steps and wrap up with some alternative maintenance tricks. Part 1. The buffering problem. Let's look at why standard setups so often fail, especially if you're a heavy streamer using newer builds like Kodi Omega 21 or Nexus 20.
To really understand how to fix this, we first got to talk about the cache. Now, when you stream a video, you're obviously not downloading the whole massive file all at once. Instead, your device grabs a small chunk of that video just a bit ahead of what you're actually watching on screen. This chunk, it's temporarily stored in your device's RAM, and that is what we call the cache. Think of it as your safety net. If your internet connection suddenly drops or just slows down for a few seconds, your video keeps playing perfectly smoothly because it's reading from that local cache instead of the live internet feed. But here is exactly where the standard setups fall flat on their face. 60 megabytes. By default, Kodi is hard-coded to allocate only 60 megabytes of your device's RAM for caching. And honestly, in today's world of high-definition streaming, 60 megabytes is practically nothing. So when that tiny little cache fills up and your internet has even the slightest hiccup, Kodi has zero safety net left. The video player catches right up to the downloaded data, and boom, you're staring at a buffering screen again. This default limitation is literally the root cause of our problem. Which brings us to part 2, the XML solution. Since that default allocation is the bottleneck, we need a way to override it. We're going to use the advanced settings.xml file to manually command Kodi's network behavior. Now, don't let this code intimidate you. This specific XML syntax might look a little bit like alphabet soup right now, but it's genuinely the secret to flawless streaming. And hey, you do not need to be a programmer to use this. It's just a set of basic instructions. The buffer mode tag tells Kodi exactly what types of streams to actually buffer. The read buffer factor tells it how fast it should try to fill that buffer up. And finally, we have the cache mem buffer size tag, which is the absolute engine driving this whole fix. And that brings us to the real star of the show here, this very specific number, 104,857,600 bytes. I know, it's a mouthful. But this specific number in the cache mem buffer size variable translates to roughly 100 megabytes of cache. That is a massive calculated expansion of your video cache, way beyond that measly 60 megabyte default limit. By just planting this one specific number into the code, you're instantly giving Kodi a significantly wider safety net to handle those annoying internet fluctuations. All right, part 3, deployment steps. I promise you, getting this code into Kodi on a machine like a Windows PC is a really straightforward step-by-step IT task. So if you're on Windows, here is the exact sequence you're going to follow. First, just open up your standard Notepad app. Easy enough. Second, copy and paste that exact block of XML code we were just talking about. Third, and listen, this is absolutely critical, so do not skip this. You have to save the file exactly as advancedsettings.xml. If you change that name even a tiny bit, Kodi is going to completely ignore it. Fourth, hit the Windows key and R on your keyboard and type in %appdata/Kodis/userdata. That's going to open up a hidden backend folder for you. Finally, step 5, just drag and drop that brand new XML file right into that user data folder. That's it. The next time you boot up Kodi, it's going to read those new instructions and drastically boost your buffering capacity. Moving on to part 4, cross-platform paths. Because Kodi's interface is uniform, the rules are the same, but the specific folder to drop this XML file into changes depending on your device's operating system. Think of these file paths like a universal treasure map. You're still creating that exact same advanced settings.xml file with the exact same code, but where you plant it depends entirely on your device. So if you're rocking an Android device, you'll need a file manager app to drill down into the Android/data folder, find org.xbmc.kodi, and place it in that specific user data folder. On a Mac, you're navigating through your user library to application support, then Kodi, then user data.
Honestly, whether it's iOS or Linux, tracking down the specific user data folder and dropping your XML file in there is the universal key to fixing this buffer issue at the system level. And finally, part 5, alternative maintenance. Because while that manual XML fix is incredibly powerful, there are a few automated best practices that can also keep your system running smoothly. Let's quickly contrast the two main approaches here. The manual XML fix we just did, that gives you incredibly precise backend control, and it works universally across devices, though it does mean you have to manually dig into those system folders. On the flip side, you've got automated wizards, things like Eris Wizard or Supreme Builds Wizard. These are actually add-ons right inside Kodi. They give you these nice visual sliders to adjust your cache size. And what's really clever about these tools is they automatically scan your device's available RAM and calculate the ideal cache memory for you. Usually, they recommend exactly 1/3 of your free RAM minus a 10% safety margin. It's definitely a much more automated route if you're not totally comfortable messing around with system files. Now, if you do decide to go that automated route with something like Eris Wizard, the absolute key is knowing which buffer mode to actually select. Mode 1 is going to buffer specific internet streams. Mode 3 restricts caching to just websites. And Mode 4? That turns buffering off completely, which, trust me, is the exact opposite of what we want. You want Mode 2. It's the default and it's highly recommended because it caches almost everything, even local files on your network. It genuinely provides the absolute smoothest playback experience. But hey, allocating space is really only half the battle here. Freeing up space is just as critical. See, over time, Kodi hoards this massive amount of temporary data, especially image thumbnails and old package files. If you're running Kodi on a device with pretty limited storage, like a Firestick or a smartphone, these temp files can literally eat up gigabytes of space, which will absolutely cause Kodi to freeze or crash on you. You've got to regularly clear that cache. You can usually do this right inside most maintenance add-ons. Just open it up, click Tools, select Clear Cache, and confirm. Honestly, it's just essential digital hygiene for your media center. And you know what? Sometimes the buffering isn't even Kodi's fault at all. It's true. Very often, internet service providers will actually throttle bandwidth for heavy streamers. They see you pulling down huge amounts of data, and they intentionally slam the brakes on your connection. That is where a good VPN comes in. It does way more than just conceal your identity online. It actively masks your data usage. Your ISP can still tell you're using data, sure, but they have zero clue what that data actually is. And that effectively lets you bypass those targeted streaming restrictions entirely.